Adding this butcher block top to this cabinet in an enclosed area such as this is a real challenge, especially when there's nothing square about this opening. Hey everyone, welcome back to Papa's Workshop. Today I'm going to be adding a maple butcher block to my cabinet that I'm building. Now I've installed the cabinet, and this is actually inserted into the cabinets in this kitchen. So it has to be very exact dimensions. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to work to be able to add this maple butcher block to the existing cabinet, working around the granite countertops. Should be a little bit interesting. It's not difficult, but it does take some very precise measurements. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that with some very simple, easy methods. The first step to this is I want to take this maple butcher block and actually cut it down to be able to make it a little bit more manageable. This slab is well over 100 pounds, and it's just a little bit more than what I want to be able to work with. So I decided to take the measurements and cut this a little bit of the oversize as to what I actually need to be able to make this countertop. And quite frankly, it did. It took two of us to lift this and get it over to the table saw to be able to make this cut. The part that I'm cutting out is actually going to be for the countertop itself. And then the piece that's left over is not going to go to waste. That is actually going to be mounted to the wall itself, creating a waterfall type look. But that's going to be a whole nother video later on. This video is going to concentrate on just how to make this countertop fit into this opening that is very much out of square. There is no room for error. I want this to fit on all three sides with no gap whatsoever. And of course, I want the front edge to be nice and straight to be able to follow the granite countertop that's in place. To be able to do that, you have to make a template. Now all you need to do is just take a sheet of poster board and cut roughly about 1.5 inches wide or maybe 2-inch wide strips. Once you have those strips, lay them down in the opening and tape them together. And that creates an exact template of what you need to be able to cut. Now one of the things that I want to do in anticipating of the next portion of this project is to be able to set this up where I have the exact center of this board. That way I can cut this countertop and be able to put it in, and then later on when we're moving to the next project to create the waterfall effect, I can use the same center line on that piece of material to be able to match this grain and this wood and these strips, and they'll match perfectly. If I used anything other than a center line, yeah, I can pretty well figure that it's going to be misaligned, and I really don't want that to happen. So for that reason, I'm measuring and getting a center line of the template and a center line of this maple board. And then from there, I'm going to lay this out onto this surface and put that front edge exactly where it needs to be. From there, I now have everything centered. I have that front edge aligned, and I'm just going to take some of the blue tape and tape down the template, because this gives me exactly what I want. Once this is all taped down, then I'll transfer the measurements over to this board. Now this pencil line that I'm going to draw on here will give me exactly where I need to be able to cut. Now because this is so much out of square, I can't just simply take this to the table saw and cut the sides to get the exact length. That's not going to work. And I do not have a track saw. So we're going to make it the next best thing to be able to cut this. But first, I want to make sure that these lines are all transferred exactly according to what the template shows, so that there's not going to be any error on this. And now, just so you know, when I cut this, I'm going to cut it ever so slightly, just a little bit large. That being said, I can then sand down to the line exactly, and that will create a no gap install for this maple butcher block onto this countertop. So why are these cabinets so far out of square? Well, these cabinets, one, are very, very old. But more importantly, these cabinets were probably built in the garage by just the homeowner. And they were not of the best quality. So we're going to make the best of it and still make this work even though that they are out of square. But what I want to do is take this scrap piece of plywood that you see there, and I'm going to measure over the width of my circular saw, and I'm going to set up, in essence, my own track saw and clamp down this scrap piece of wood, and I know exactly where that blade's going to be, and we're going to use this circular saw to be able to make this cut. Now keep in mind, I'm going to make sure that I cut this just a very, very slight overcut, and then I'll be able to sand down to that line. Keep in mind, since I want a no gap installation, it's far easier to be able to remove small bits of material because you can't add material back. So if I cut it too much and there's a gap, well, that's going to blow the whole entire look that I'm trying to create. Because of that, I want to be able to cut it just a slight bit overcut, and then I'll take it over to the joiner and join it down so it's nice, smooth, and square, and I'll finish up with just a little bit of sanding for that perfect fit. Now I'm just going to flip this around and repeat the process and do this exact same thing to the other side. Now when you set up a board like this, you have to make sure that you have the exact measurement on each side, because there's no T-square or any way to be able to get it aligned. And keep in mind, it's not square anyway. So we have to align it so that this board is exactly parallel to the line itself. And also keep in mind that because this is a maple butcher block material, it's quite hard. So you need to make sure that you have a really nice sharp blade to be able to make this cut. Even though I cut this as straight as I possibly could, when I remove the saw, you can actually look down the edge of this board and you can see that it just has a little bit of wave in it. It's not perfectly straight. And that's the reason that you want to be able to oversize this cut just a little bit so I can take it to the joiner and be able to make it perfectly flat and a perfect 90-degree angle. And using the joiner will clean up that edge very, very nicely. It will create a nice straight line and it'll create a perfect 90-degree angle. And that's what I'm looking for, because anything other than that is probably not going to fit. So now that I've have it finished through the joiner, it's time for just a little bit of sanding. I also want to eliminate that sharp edge on the top, and by just doing this little bit of action with the sander, I can actually round over that edge for just a very small radius. I don't need to use a router or anything like that. Just a little bit of sanding and I have a nice round over that is perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. Plus I'll sand the edge, clean it all up, and of course I'm going to sand the surface of this butcher block material also. But I'm going to hand sand this because this will get stained and I don't want the little swirl marks from the sander itself. Hand sanding is a perfect application for this. I'm using 240 grit paper to be able to hand sand just to smooth everything out and to take care of any little blemishes. Now one of the things that happened is a little bit of red paint that got onto this surface from the jointer itself, from that guard, and I want to be able to sand that off. By hand sanding this, it'll be ready for the stain once we test fit and make sure that it'll drop into place right on top of the countertop. Make sure that you sand with the grain, because if you do not do that, then you're going to create some scratches and that stain will certainly pick that up. And you'll see those scratches in the finish, and that's certainly something you do not want to have happen. Here's a finished look at the butcher block dropped in position, and you can see there is no gap whatsoever. Those lines right along the granite is absolutely perfect. It matches to that front edge exactly the way that we need it to have happen, and this looks absolutely amazing. Well, there you go, folks. The butcher block is installed and it has zero gap on there. It absolutely fit perfectly. Being able to make a simple template the way that I did is the key to being able to have this very successful. So at that point, it doesn't matter if it's square or not square, because you can make the adjustments using that template. And of course, you want to take some very accurate measurements to be able to make this whole entire thing work. And I think the project turned out absolutely fantastic. Now in a future video, we're going to be using the rest of that maple butcher block on the back wall to be able to create a waterfall effect. And that should be an interesting challenge as well, because we want that butcher block to be able to line up perfectly, and that's the reason we measured to the center. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you can take on challenges like this in your shop and realize that it's not that difficult to be able to do. It just takes a little bit of planning and thought to be able to work out the details. So if you like this video, by all means, give me a thumbs up, subscribe right down there below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. For now, bye-bye everyone. See you next time.